Hi guys, it's Thursday, and I got my new master cylinder in last night. I bench bled it this morning and put it on the truck. I just got to hook up the lines, so we should have brakes pretty soon. Last night a wicked old storm rolled in, and went from being up around 90 degrees to about 50 today. And it's supposed to be cold and rainy for the next 2 days. So that sets me up for a test drive on Saturday. So that's what I'm shooting for. It's supposed to be nice and sunny, and that's what I want. So, because there won't be a hood on this thing or any glass in it or anything like that. So, a rainy day would suck. So, yeah, Saturday's the plan. Got a few other little things I need to do, top up the fluids and all that stuff. I'll probably fire it up, let it run a little bit before I get it down on the ground and all that stuff. And yeah, so plenty to do. So let's just get to it. Okay, so I'll just go over what I did quick. I pulled the cap off the master, filled it up, and opened all 4 bleeders like I tried the first attempt at getting things moving. And sure enough, fluid was moving out of both sides of the reservoir. I ended up topping it up twice overall. So I just let it sit like that. I did a bunch of bullshit house stuff that I had to get done. And around supper time, I checked back here, and I had a little leak just above the that tailpipe, and I tightened that up and had the cardboard down to see if I'd gotten it. It wasn't tight, so I tightened it up, and I let it go for about another hour. And then I had a handheld vacuum pump and put it on the bleeder. Closed off the other 3. Started with this wheel here. 20-30 seconds of pumping on that thing, and fluid started to appear at the bleeder. I did all 4 wheels the same way, and then I installed this handcrafted rustic custom seat, and got my daughter out here and got her on the pedal and bled the old-fashioned way. Pump her up, hold her down kind of deal, just like I used to do with my dad. And ended up going around all 4 wheels twice. I had pedal after the first time, but it was a little spongy, so I did it a second time, and I pulled out some pretty good air out of the rear. The front were good, but yeah, so I'm happy to say that I've got brakes at all 4 corners and good to go. So yeah, this is actually Friday now, and I've got some wiring to do and fluids to top up, and yeah, that's about it, I guess. So I'm just gonna get after it, and I guess when I'm ready to fire this thing up, I'll come back. Okay, so this wiring took me a little bit longer than I expected it to, but I wanted it to be nice and clean looking. As you can see, there's no wires all over the place. So basically what I've got here, there's my battery. This one here is also going to the battery. So it goes through here, through the grommet, and comes out from underneath and is here, which is also where I'm picking up my battery power from my electric fan. The white wire, that's the keyed power for the electric fan. And then this black wire here, there's 2 pins in the alternator. One is power, and the other one is the gauge. So this one is the gauge, so I just passed it through the window. I've got some old crappy gauges. I'll just hook it up just to see if it's charging. But yeah, so I'm pretty much ready to put the battery in. Just got to tighten up a few things, and I've got to get underneath and straighten some stuff up. So yeah, when I'm getting closer, but I'm not quite there yet. All right, so it's almost supper time. I'm still not done. So I filled the rad. I just put water in it in case there's a problem, and I got to drain it. I don't want to throw away 35 bucks for the antifreeze. I topped up the diff. I topped up the motor oil. I put power steering fluid in it and actually overfilled it, so I had to go get the wife's turkey baster and suck her out of there, and clean it up and put it back, or she'd throw it away. So the only one I can't put in right now is the transmission fluid. I don't have a dipstick tube that's got the right curves to fit in this thing. I went online and to look for one of those steel braided ones, you know, the flexible ones that mount on the firewall. And you know, they range anywhere from like 45 bucks to 400 bucks. I'm telling you, man, if you pay 400 bucks for a dipstick tube, you need to get yourself one of those jackets with the really long sleeves that tie in the back, and lock yourself in a room with mattresses on the walls so you don't hurt yourself, and seek professional help. 400 bucks. You gotta be crazy. Anyway, I found one for a nice looking unit for 52 bucks or 55 bucks or something. It left Toronto 3 days ago. It's still not here. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. But, you know, if worst case scenario, I'll just cut down one of the grungy tubes I have and cap it. And that way I can top it up and run it with just a, you know, short little dipstick. So I'll do that until a new one comes in. And I want to put the electric fan on a toggle switch. It'll be keyed power, but you know, off and on if you want. So I've got one, and I'm just getting ready to hook that up. And yeah, that's about it, I guess. Clean up some stuff underneath, you know, strap up some wires and crap like that, and should be ready to fire it up. So that's where I'm at. All right, so it's just past 7:30. It's going to be dark probably in less than half an hour, and I just finished dicking around with this thing. So I will not be driving it today. So I'm sticking with the original plan for tomorrow, even including my vice grip overflow holder upper. But yeah, all good. The big thing I got to do in the morning is get all the wheels on this thing, ones that hold air because the rears do not. And then I got to do this. I got to move all that shit around and make room so I can get out of here. So that'll be my big job in the morning. Fire it up, check for things, make sure everything's okay. And then yeah, so we'll see you in the morning, and we'll go for a drive. All right, it's Saturday morning, beautiful day. I have been screwing around here and on this and in the yard, oh excuse me, since 7 a.m. It's now going on noon. I have fired it up. I wanted to bleed the power steering, but I've got a little leak, so I'm not going to get the air out of it, obviously. So I'm going to take it out anyway, because I don't have time to fix that right now. Getting at that line is just a bitch. It's the one underneath the pressure line. I had a hell of a time getting it on as it is. I may even pull the rack off, put the lines on, and put the rack back in. I think it might be easier and quicker in the long run. But anyway, yeah, we should be ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to have a coffee because I haven't had anything yet this morning. And we'll see what happens when we fire it up. So my battery's way too big for the tray, so I rigged that up. You know, I also got the old vice grips on the overflow can. You know, if a cop sees me going down the road, if I can go down the road, he's gonna turn around and run like hell, because you know, he's just gonna see way too much paperwork. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I've got a bad feeling. I'm just gonna set this up here, and we'll fire it up. Okay, I got a problem with my linkage. I'm not getting into gear, so I'm gonna have to adjust that. You notice I did go backwards a touch, so it's got reverse. So yeah, I'll just have to let the air clear a little bit and see if I can't get that going into gear. Jesus, one thing after another.
This is the first time this thing has run in its own power
This thing
in
hasn't driven on its own power in over 50 years. Check it out. Transmission seems to be slipping just a bit, and it's loud. I better recheck that tranny fluid, man. Okay, well, there's a few things going on here. Like I said, my transmission is slipping just a touch. So maybe the fluid's low. It's having a hell of a time trying to get a dipstick reading on it. My dipstick tube is only that long. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave it as it is until I get my new dipstick in. It's supposed to be today. Bit of a ticking sound too. I gotta address that. And other than that, not bad. I think the brakes need to be bled again, and my thermostat leaks, and the rack and pinion leaks like a sieve. So those have got to be addressed. But it runs and drives. So there you go. So now it's almost 3 o'clock, and I spent a lot of time underneath that truck today. I'm filthy, crawling around on the floor. I think I need to get this thing up in the air to finish off some of this stuff. But I can pull it in and out when I want now, and that was the main goal. And then I tweak all those other little things that are wrong. Thermostat housing, I guess, just a gasket, so I'll change that out. I have one here, and we'll just tackle them off one at a time. It wasn't a huge success, her maiden voyage, but not an epic failure. It didn't burst into flames or blow up or just leave me stuck out in the middle of nowhere or whatever. And I just went around the block. You know, I just wanted to make sure it would move under its own power. And there's no real major, there's no grinding or clunking or rattling kind of noises. Mind you, it's pretty loud and it's hard to hear. But, you know, it sounds pretty tough, actually. It sounds good. Yeah, so I got a bunch of things to do. That rack, it steered actually pretty damn good, but you know, you could hear the rack whining here when you were making a corner, and you know, it leaks. So you can't have leaky stuff on a new build. What else? Yeah, the tranny. Well, I think it just needs some fluid. But like I say, I managed to get some in before I went for that little ride, but I think it needs more, and it's a real pain in the ass to get fluid into that thing. Like I said, my dipstick tube is only that long, so how do you get your funnel and all that stuff going? I ended up with the transmission fluid funnel with a rubber hose with another funnel, and I could only put in, you know, few shot glasses worth at a time. So, you know, I might have added a quart, but I think it's still low. So hopefully I get my dipstick tube and dipstick in soon, so I can put that in and then properly check the fluid and get it to the right level. Yeah, the adrenaline was flowing, man. When it didn't go into gear at all, I freaking panicked. I thought the tranny was screwed. But when I put it into reverse and it, you know, lunged back a bit, I knew, okay, the tranny's shifting then. So got to do my linkage, and yeah. So I've got it. What I ended up doing with that was lengthening the rod coming off the shifter by 1 inch. So I threaded a new rod, put my clevis and my rod end, heim joint back on. I also increased the curve of the other shaft coming off the transmission, and that gave me a little bit more throw, so it got me into drive. So I'm still not getting low 1 and 2, so that linkage is going to need some more tweaking yet. But whatever. I mean, the problem is that the shifter moves so much, but the transmission moves quite a bit more. So you've got to match that throw from each one. And I'm close. I'm getting there, but yeah, we'll have to tweak on that a bit. And yeah, so there you go. It ran and drove. First test, we'll call it mediocre, but it moved. So yeah, new subscribers, thank you very much. And if you watch this just now and you are not subscribed, please subscribe and check out more cool stuff. You know, I truly would appreciate it. And you know, don't be shy either, guys. You know, comment, don't be afraid. Yeah, like the page and all those good things, and tell your buddies, you know, spread the word. So yeah, so if you're not doing anything else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.